Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
What's up, podcast land? You're listening to Monster Candy Podcast with your host, Dominic Dabby of Tsunami Bomb.
Hello.
The ballsy badass herself, Shotzi Blackheart.
Medulla oblongata.
And I'm Screaming Eve from the world's second greatest rock and roll band, the Memphis Murder Band. So get ready, candy killers, for Monster Candy Podcast.
Wow, that was really good. I'm impressed. I actually felt like I'm either on a morning show or I'm walking out to wrestle, and I like this is awesome. Or it was like.
But when I was
rally.
imitating him earlier, did it not just sound exactly?
I don't
like
think it
that,
sounded
though?
anything like that.
I think it did. I think I did pretty.
Wait,
good job.
okay, let's do it.
Hey, I'm Screaming Eve.
That's not even. That's not even. That's not even close to how you did it. How you did it was. How you did it was.
Medulla oblongata.
That's what your imitation was.
No, I just did what I just did,
No.
so you can't tell me.
No. I'll tell you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our moment.
God fucking damn it.
So today on Monster Candy Podcast, we are going to be reviewing the movie Fiend Without a Face.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I'm kind of stoked
It is
about
the
this.
fiend without a face. It has no face. Medulla oblongata.
Wow.
It has plenty medulla oblongata.
A plethora. In
A
fact,
plethora of medulla oblongata.
little side note,
Yes.
my previous band, the origins of the Memphis Murder Men, the Brain Invaders, had a song called Fiend Without a Face because I love this fucking movie.
You know
That's
what you
awesome.
should have called that song?
What?
Medulla oblongata.
She's been doing this since we just all watched the movie together. Just a few minutes ago. I just want everyone to know that she's been singing the song to the point where E started singing the song, and I am asking for help. Somebody come save me.
It's a good motherfucking song, though. We should do a Monster Candy podcast record. You know what I'm saying? Medulla
the hit song.
Yeah.
Hit single Medulla Oblongata.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It'll be the 15-minute version.
you can just keep it going. Or we can do a 10-hour version, just loop it.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We should sample it and put it up on YouTube and literally
I
see
love
how long we
those.
can make it so long and just having you repeat it.
Dominic, don't feed the beast.
I don't, me? You're the one singing this before the episode even started. Okay. So yes, this episode we are going to focus on the 1958 Fiend Without a Face. But before
AKA
that,
Medulla oblongatas.
this is not called that.
Yes, it is.
But before that,
Bananas.
we're going to do
Horror news.
Nobody is laughing at that but us. At
Fuck
this
them,
point,
man. That was
episode 7,
Good.
nobody is enjoying that noise.
Inside
I
jokes
bet
are the
Walter
best.
Huckabee is laughing at it, aren't you? Aren't you, Hucka?
Walter and Brenda, what up? Yay.
I think maybe Enzo and Holtz is just...
Enzo
rolling their
does
eyes.
not listen to this.
Do you think so? He doesn't
I
listen?
really don't think he listens to this.
He
I
probably
bet
doesn't.
he went and listened
Well, if you're
to
listening,
one episode.
Mr. Dare Barracuda, you better fucking listen.
That's our friend. That's our friend in Arnocore. He's the one of the big.
They're all our friends in Arnocore.
They're all our friends in Arnocore. But
He's a
Enzo
big
is the
horror
one who's a
fan.
horror fan. But yeah, I don't know if he's listening or not. It's hard to tell. But anyway, it's time for horror
I
news.
should text him right now. Be like,
Somebody-
dude, are you listening to this podcast that hasn't
That-
even aired yet?
That is not live. Okay. So horror news. Somebody start. What are we gonna start?
Evil Dead. What was it? I forgot what it was. But
Okay.
it was something, right?
We're off to a great start, everyone. I'm so
Evil
glad.
Dead.
Yeah,
He's-
Ash versus the Evil
Yes,
Dead.
Bruce Campbell says that if Ash versus the Evil Dead gets canceled, that there is a good chance for Evil Dead 4.
to make
Starring-
the movie.
Yes, to make the movie Evil Dead 4.
Is it 4 or is it just an Evil Dead
It said
movie?
Evil Dead 4.
Because really what's happening right now, as we record this, they're doing season 3.
It just premiered, right?
Yeah, it's
I
just
didn't watch it
going.
yet.
But they won't know until the middle of March whether they get renewed for a possibility of season 4. I think they're going to, because I think that
Probably.
show's pretty popular.
It is.
I love it. I think last season, we were talking before we started recording that about you guys felt like it kind of got a little silly this last season.
It's just
I kind of
all over the
agree.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Lucy Lawless.
I
in
do
this.
not like that character at all.
And I don't
Yes.
mind her, but I don't like that she's this immortal
Xena, awesome.
writer. Yeah, I like
That
I like the
character.
actress. No, I like the actress. I just feel like that.
She's awesome. But
I think her character. I don't like that they said, "Oh, this is the person that wrote the book." Spoiler alert.
None of the characters are developed in this show, and it's really disappointing to me.
Yeah, I like his two companions.
yeah,
And I'm not just saying it because I met them. I thought I like them. I like the idea of them.
I think that's as far as it should go with like main characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's cool.
It's getting very like last season of True Blood.
But it's just like too many
Well,
characters and
Just
shit.
too much bullshit happening.
I hope they pull it back. I mean, I actually like that they explored his history in terms of like Ashy Slashy, and that he was considered a serial killer by everyone, but nobody could prove it because there's no bodies left. And everything was weird.
I thought
so they all
that's just because he was
suspected-
just slaying so much tang.
Well, there was that I think implied as well. But he was a killer. They thought he was a killer. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
But yeah, I don't know.
I think we're all in agreement there could be less characters and more.
Yeah, I like it, but I'd like to see it kind of like, simplify itself a little bit.
Yes.
And then they say they got a big payoff.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes, I agree. Honestly, I think that's really the way to go with this. But I don't know. I mean,
Practical effects, awesome.
yeah, no, there's a lot
Yeah,
of cool
there's-
stuff. I like
There's
the
more
silly-
pros than cons.
way
for
more
sure.
pros than cons. Yeah,
But I think especially with a character like Ash,
yeah.
you don't need that. You don't need a lot of other supporting
No, you
actors around
don't.
that.
Because
it takes away from him, honestly.
Yes.
So
I actually liked it. They introduced that cop character for a minute that he was like seemed like was a love interest for like a half episode, and then
yeah, she's dead.
then she's dead.
Which
Yeah.
is cool. That's that's kind of like
If that was a running gag,
yes,
that
yeah.
would be really great.
Yeah.
But I actually liked that character as a foil for him, so I thought it was a bummer when they left. I like the idea of them making Ash this ridiculous leader,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's this group of people that halfway think he's insane and halfway think he's like their greatest hope,
Mm-hmm.
and then the adventures ensue of just absolute chaos and ridiculousness. I don't like Lucy Lawless's character. I mean, I keep coming back to that. I think she's falling flat for me.
it's a pointless
She's
character.
just out of place with like
Yeah.
everyone else.
I mean, she should have just been. I don't know. I think I didn't like knowing who wrote the book. I thought that was supposed to be like a Bible. I didn't think it was like.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine when she
They're
was
getting,
this
they're getting
powerful
too
thing.
involved with like, hey, let's kind of explain everything. Like some shit, just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I mean,
Like Kiss, Mastercaster. I mean, wait, what?
I don't know. Anyway, so yes, I
Is it a Kiss song, Mastercaster, about that
I'm
chick who
not
fucking
actually a
made
fan
a?
of Kiss. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was whatever, but there's a chick who made casts of like famous rock
Oh,
stars' dicks.
yes.
And they wrote a song about her.
Right?
Yeah.
Did they? Okay, I remember hearing about that. That's weird. That's weird.
Like who? Who did she? Whose dick
A
did
lot of
she?
Everybody,
people.
a lot of people apparently put their penis into
Yeah.
cold clay that she could.
I would do that if I had a penis.
Well, I'm not saying I don't do that for myself. I'm just saying I
You-
don't know if I
you
would
would make-
offer it.
Plaster casts of other penises.
No, I would
Oh,
get
wait.
my dick casted. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, gotcha.
Fantastic. So glad we shared that with everyone. Moving on,
Dicks.
I'm really excited about The New Mutants because that is a movie that's being currently made. It's going to be in the X-Men universe, and apparently director Josh Boone has stated that it is going to be a full-on horror movie in the X-Men universe, and they're hoping to really be a trilogy. But the way he says, he recently talked about it going, we're making a full-fledged horror movie set within the X-Men universe. There are no costumes, no supervillains, and they're trying to do something really, really different. And the synopsis is that they are held in a secret faculty against their will. 5 new mutants have to do battle with the dangers of their powers, as well as the sins of their past. And they aren't out to save the world, they're just trying to save themselves. And the trailer looked pretty cool. It was up a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They did a teaser.
What,
I'm down for it.
we saw that somewhere, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
On,
Yeah, they got the Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones. She's playing Wolfsbane, which is a really cool character from the comics. I used to collect these comics, so that's kind of why I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have thought of it as a horror movie, but I like where they're going. Anna Taylor-Joy from The Witch and Split is playing Magic, which is one of my favorite characters in the X-Men universe. Charlie Heaton is Cannonball, who's cool. Blue Hunt is Danny Moonstar, who's also a rad character. And Henry Zaga is Sunspot. Like, all these characters are really awesome. Like, these characters, like, I read this stuff, like, through the 80s. These were all, like, the kid mutants.
yeah, they're not my favorite.
No, you weren't into it?
Not those ones, really.
See,
Characters.
actually, what's really bumming me out is they should have put Cypher in there. Cypher was the one that they had that actually, in the comics, dies. And it's this huge deal because, like, he was a main character forever, and then he dies. And then everybody's just obliterated. And, like, comics, they never sell. They never... See all this thing behind me? The thing about comics is they never kill any of these main characters, and so it's pretty cool. I just got handed a cough drop because I've lost my voice, and I think he was tired of hearing me like croak.
Yeah, but now we're gonna hear you like with
Yeah,
a cough drop.
You might have to. You might have to hear it.
No, I got that because I was going to get one for myself, and I thought, what kind of host would I be to be like, Lawson just making my voice feel so great. Wish you had one, huh?
I lost my voice like 2 weeks ago and it hasn't come back. It's kind of sad. Anyway, the movie's set to be released February 22nd, 2019. I'm excited about a horror movie with superheroes in it. I'm curious to see what they do.
I'm stoked.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So, and I like the cast, honestly. I mean, I like Anna Taylor-Joy and I like Maurice Williams, so fucking A.
Oh, hold on.
Macy
I'm getting a reply
Williams.
from Mr. Dare Barraguda
Are you?
asking him if he's listening to this current podcast that's not live.
One of these days we're going to do a live podcast, though.
We
I think.
should.
Yeah, I would like to
Where they
do
could
that.
see our beautiful faces.
I really want that. If you guys want that, you guys should all let us know about that, because I think we want to
I'll
stream.
moon the camera a bunch.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
He said, no.
All right.
What a motherfucker, huh?
Well,
How dare you not listen to this
I have to see it. It's
not live podcast right
just
now?
kind of exactly what I thought would be the answer. But
Yeah.
another bit of news. I really like this one. Prankster plants Jason Voorhees statue at the bottom of a lake.
Yeah,
You
so
guys hear about this?
I also saw that. So
Yeah.
I guess he did that like a few years ago.
Oh, really?
So people
And
are just taking notice
posted
now?
a video of it on YouTube a few years ago, but now it's starting to catch popularity.
Okay.
So I think he did it in 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, which is pretty fucking, that's funny.
I think it's really
Because
funny.
there's some video on there of people like swimming and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That
And
are freaked
freaking
out?
out.
Yeah.
They
I
rise
mean-
up and they're like, oh, fuck this!
I guess it's a popular diving spot
Mm-hmm.
in Minnesota, but like, I think that's hilarious if you just see him. And apparently, he's left like he looks exactly how Tommy Jarvis left him at the end of Jason Lives. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really cool. It's cool he's still down there. It's like didn't like get all messed up in the water.
Pretty hilarious.
So yeah, there you go. You guys can actually, anyone who's up for it can go swim out and find Jason Voorhees at the bottom of a lake. What lake is it? Anybody know? I don't even know.
Crystal Lake.
Is it called Crystal Lake? That seems to be what.
I'm really doubting that.
Be hilarious for it.
I don't know.
It should be.
Well, I'll tell you what. Somewhere in Minnesota, do you guys, if you hear us, just start diving into lakes.
All of them.
Don't bother Googling
find
it.
them.
Just start diving in. Is that no? It isn't. That isn't it. Oh no, that's it. Isn't that it?
What?
Yeah.
For
Horror
Watch
news.
horror news. News time.
Wow, that got like kind of porno 70s like horror news.
Have you guys seen?
It's that butter coffee I just
Oh,
drank,
my
everybody.
goodness. Butter coffee. His honey butter coffee.
honey butter coffee.
That's his new jam.
It's fuck refined sugars, man. It's poison.
Are you two finished? Are you guys okay? You need a minute? How about this butter coffee?
Butter coffee.
You know, if it makes them happy.
All right.
No,
all right.
no.
All right, so
Have you guys seen that Haunters documentary on Netflix?
no, you guys told me about this and I didn't watch it.
You need to check it out.
All right, I'm gonna note that.
So it's a
This is me
documentary
noting it.
on scarers, just like a bunch of people who like make haunted houses and shit.
That's cool.
But like the main chunk of it was the cats from McCamey Manor. Do you know who they are? So McCamey Manor is like this haunted house, which is more like a what would you call them?
Well, it's definitely like torture.
Yeah, it's more like a fucking torture house than a haunted house.
Okay.
Because, you know, typical haunted houses, it's like the scarers can't touch you or anything.
Right.
They're just in fucking makeup, dressed as zombies.
They jump
and
out,
vampires,
they
and
kind of
jump
swipe
out,
at you.
Yeah, but they're not allowed to touch you at all. But this one, you have to sign a waiver. It's free. The only thing that you have to bring in is like a can of dog food or something that they donate. But it's completely free, and they spend like thousands and thousands of dollars to put this together every year. And they just torture people. They'll cut off your hair, put spiders on you and shit.
No, they'll cut off your hair?
Yes,
Yeah,
they'll waterboard you. It's
Really?
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll put you in like a coffin. They'll
It's very physically violating.
yeah, it's very, very
Really?
yeah.
So it's not like a haunted house at all. It's like hey, I want to go in. Like I have a torture fetish, so I want to go in and fucking get tortured for 6 hours.
Yeah, for like
I mean-
6 fucking hours. So, I mean, I don't know exactly what they do in there, but one of the things that he was talking about that he does is he'll put people in these what are those called? The fucking coffin or like
Like
the
the
drawers,
slabs.
Yes.
the
the body drawers. So he'll
the
put you in that. He'll put you in that, and like if you touch it, you get like electrocuted or whatever. So
Oh.
he'll like electrocute you. And then this like flap will go down and it'll slant where you fall into this like big thing of water, and then you have to like to get out of it you have to like swim through this like tube or whatever. I don't know. It's fucking nuts. And then they just fuck with you and like
Where do they make this happen?
at his house.
Yeah.
Really?
He like puts it in his backyard.
Wow.
And he just spends thousands of dollars putting these contraptions together.
Yeah.
And
dude,
he doesn't charge anyone anything for it.
How does he get?
he
I
doesn't.
don't think he gets any money for it. I know that he puts up a lot of videos of people freaking out. So maybe he sells those. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But, or maybe merch. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the dude seemed kind of creepy.
Super creepy.
Like he's getting off on people's like
Clearly.
the
Yeah.
torture
Yeah.
porn aspect of
Yes.
it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, he seems like nice or whatever, but he also
Yeah.
seems kind of fucking creepy.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only fee is to donate to this, animal shelter or
yeah,
whatever.
which totally like great cause.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean.
cool.
But it's totally like, hey, weirdo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could tell he's getting off somehow on it. So I mean that's a little fucking weird.
Like, I've never minded to admit that I'm kinky and I like having fun stuff, but like this sounds awful to me.
It's
like
terrible.
I mean, it sounds like there's absolutely no way that I would sign up for 6 hours of just fucking with me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would entrust my well-being to somebody.
And there's no, like, safe word or anything.
Yeah.
Like, once you're in there,
That's
you're
the,
fucking in there.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like I know that there are people who are really
people out
into
if
this.
they're I'm done. I want out. Like, this is it. They'll let them out.
No.
Yeah.
If you tell them that you're done, they will not let you out. Unless you're passed out. If you pass out, then they'll get you out of there. But if you're still conscious and you're saying, fuck this, I don't want to be in here. Fuck this, get me the fuck out of here. They will not let you out. They'll keep you there even longer if you fucking plead.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
I know there are people who get off on this. I mean, there are people who get off on like getting beat up by, like the dominatrix and stuff. And it's like, I love the outfits, but I could.
It's an interesting documentary. You should check it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm really fascinated.
They have other people on there that are like genuinely like. Oh,
yeah, they're
we wanna
just
do,
regular
like,
ass
haunted houses,
scares, you know.
So.
Well, there's gotta be somebody who takes it up a notch, you know.
Of course.
But I bet it's really popular. I bet he's like packed. You got to book time months ahead.
Years.
No, I believe it. Like,
yeah.
I know there's people who would love to do it. I don't know if that makes it. It doesn't make it any appealing to me.
They think they want. Like I almost tell myself that I kind of want to try it just to see that if I could hack some shit like that.
I know I could hack it, but I would probably kick some ass while I was in it.
Exactly.
I'd lose my temper and start.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's
people
where
people do. There's videos of like them trying to fucking beat the shit out of the haunters, but then they'll just fucking waterboard you and treat you even worse, and they'll punch you in the face. They will.
Oh.
Yes, they will. Stop! Don't look at me like that. Read the reviews. It's disgusting. Like some of the people that come out of there, but they sign this. They have like a really tight waiver.
That's crazy. That's a trip.
Yeah, but people complain about how like they're disgusting, and like I think some people even like touched some girls in the wrong way. Like there's some like shit that goes down in there sometimes. But I think they address that in the documentary. Because before seeing the documentary, I was really into McCamey Manor, just like reading about it and seeing like what the fuck is this shit.
But afterwards, you're like,
I don't know. I mean, they defend that and say like none of that rubbish happened, but there's a lot of people that like comment on shit saying like, oh, I've been there and this happened or this whatever, you know.
Well, it seems like in those sort of situations where you're just going off and there's no password, there's no safe word, there's no turning off, there's no whoa. It's like, it would be really easy for something to get out of hand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, hey, I'm all in for the fun of it. Obviously, we do this show. I'm into horror. Like, I like stuff, but I don't know. That seems kind of borderline.
Right?
I mean, I don't want to come off as like. I feel like sometimes in the show I've come off like prudish, going like, and I'm not. I'm actually the opposite.
Oh, he's
of that.
not. He like total like.
Whatever you're about to say, don't say it. But
well,
no,
I'm not either. But I think this is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's like a limit, though. You know, you gotta have.
Yes.
You gotta be careful.
No.
I mean, I was just gonna mention how much you're totally into autoerotic asphyxiation and shitting on walls and stuff like that, but I won't.
It was one time, and it was the worst Columbus Day ever.
Oh yeah, the wall with the shit everywhere.
Yeah, there you go. That one time.
Medulla oblongata.
Yeah, but no, seriously, I just think it's like. But yeah, I just think this sounds a little.
Yeah.
Meh.
Yeah. I'm not lying. They really like.
All right, so it's your Netflix. It's the Netflix pick.
Yes.
You're telling everyone to check out this, and it's called
it's Haunters.
Haunters.
Yeah, Haunters. Yeah.
All right.
I'd like to just give a shout out to Mr. Dino Sachs from the Murder Junkies. Just accepted my friend request on Facebook.
Oh, I love Dino.
It's been a while since I've seen him.
Oh, Dino and him sticking his drumsticks up his bunghole.
Yeah, Dino, good guy. Anyway,
right on. Okay, so we got horror news done, and we got a Netflix pick, which is kind of something we're gonna try and do more of. Is recommend stuff on Netflix people should check out and Hulu.
Pick your nose.
It's worth it. So now we turn our attention to Fiend Without a Face.
Medulla oblongata.
This movie's crazy.
This movie's fucking awesome.
It kind of reminds me of like a high school play at times, but the storyline is pretty cool, and the creature design is pretty neat.
It is, yeah.
Especially for the time period.
Badass. Some of probably, you know what? I'm gonna say, if it's not the best, or probably it's got to be top 3 science fiction like monsters, creature things.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Of that day, of that era.
It's definitely
Top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think it was a pretty neat idea and a really original like little creature. Like kind of reminded me in the sense of like you guys recommended us doing the Tingler a while back, and I was really impressed with like the imagination behind that creature. Like, you know, at one point you're like, knowing what we know now, it's like absurd, but the other hand, it's like it's pretty creative. And this is kind of like that too, like a creature created from thought that's been projected and then now turns into a monster. It's like pretty cool.
Yeah, this movie, fuck man, the first time I saw this, I was probably, I want to say 14, 15-ish. Like right when I mean, I always grew up around horror movies and shit, like, you know, like that's the thing back in Pittsburgh, but that was like going to the mall days when Suncoast, I don't even know if Suncoast Video is still like a thing.
I don't think so.
But
I haven't seen one in a long time.
Like as soon as me and my buddies back then, you know, bandmate, soon to be, really started getting into like, yeah, let's do like a horror punk band and do all that. We would just go to these fucking video shops and just either rent movies or like just buy them.
Right.
And I think, yeah, I just ended up buying this movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised I kind of missed out on it. Because I feel like this is a movie that I would have grabbed.
Well, it was cool because like,
oh yeah, that's one thing I will say about this movie. If you're going to act like a guy that just got half your brain sucked out, you're going to walk in a room, silence. Silence might be a little bit more golden.
Right?
Like,
it's like a little zombie. Yeah. I love that scene. I absolutely love it.
But like, so after I saw this movie, my friends were all into it. You know, we start the Brain Invaders. You know, 96, 97, and then the Misfits do their reunion tour or whatever. They're 95, and we see them in 96, and it's cool because they used to come out and their little pre-show thing would be just a bunch of different old horror movie and sci-fi clips and shit. Saw Fiend Without a Face, we're like, fuck yeah! Oh! Because the movie's just so, it's a fun fucking movie for, you know.
I like these old movies just because like they have a feel to them that you just can't get now. Like there's no way to get like, because they were still kind of performing them like almost like stage plays.
Totally.
I mean, it does have, if I was going to be critical, it does have a couple weird cuts. The acting can be a little bit stiff, but it's just, you know, there's no Vincent Price in it.
You know why it was probably a little bit off? Was because the director was never on set.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier. I saw something on that.
Crabtree or whatever his name is?
Well, yeah, it's Arthur Crabtree got the props for directing.
Yes.
But it, I guess, was a star Marshall Thompson who plays the main actor.
Major whatever his name is.
Major Cummings.
Yeah, Major Cummings.
Literally.
What's your name, soldier?
Major Cummings.
We are 13 years old. But yeah.
Dick and fart jokes, everybody.
But anyway, yes, Crabtree hated doing this film because he thought sci-fi was beneath him.
Oh my.
So he would constantly just not show up to shootings, and Major Cummings would have to come in and save the day.
His name is Marshall Thompson.
Marshall Thompson.
Yeah, so Marshall Thompson had to direct it. I guess he finally walked off.
Yeah, he finally walked off completely and just never came back, and he ended up directing the rest of the film.
Well, you know, it's funny how like the Directors Guild have rules, like if you direct a certain amount of the film, your name still stays on it. But
that's some bullshit.
It sounds like it should have been.
Fuck you, Crabtree. You don't belong on. Where is he on there?
I'm sure that he is.
We have a poster. I'm gonna go in.
You do have a poster. It is literally above my head.
I'm gonna cross that shit out.
I'll take a picture of that shit right now.
So put it, and so it's up on the wall above my head. That's how much they love this.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. No,
I mean,
it is a fun movie.
It's kind of slow in the beginning. You know, it's a lot of build up, but once you get to, it's kind of like a Godzilla movie. You know,
right?
It's all build up until you get to the meat and you see and like all the radiation happens.
Yeah.
And once you start being able to physically see the Fiend without a face,
Yeah, it
you're
goes
like,
on.
oh shit, this is awesome.
It's on. The last 15
Yes.
minutes of this movie is super fun as it like all hell breaks loose.
Mhm.
If anyone, I'm sure by now a lot of you fucking people seen the old serial Crimson Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
This, just the way it's shot and the way it's kind of a lot of the shots, and it has a very Crimson Ghost feel to it.
Totally.
Like that's probably one of the reasons why I liked it so much, is because it has the same kind of vibe to it.
Because you watched Crimson.
Yeah, I mean, I
before.
was watching all these around the same time, but it's a very similar style to it. But yeah, it's definitely slow moving. Like there's a lot of explanation, a lot of build up,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like the shit hits the fan, and it's
It goes crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I had to be critical, there's a couple, like I said, there's a couple little hitches here and there. I was watching it today, and all of a sudden, at one point, the female lead, Barbara Gazelle, character played by Kim Parker, like, all of a sudden, like, went from disliking Major Cummings to suddenly, like, he, like, smooches her, and he's like, if I survive this, I'll come back and get more later. And I was like, wait, whoa, what happened? Like, where did that shift? Like, I didn't even see the conversation that happened, which made her get into it.
I'll tell you where. When he had to feed that dude a Knuckle Sammy, she was all like...
She asked him to leave.
Yeah, no, she was...
Come on now. Come on.
I mean, there's a reason
Look,
she left her door open,
look,
right?
That's flirting in 1958.
Yes.
That was
People
like,
are going to
you
be
leave the
like,
door open
oh
while
my
you're
god,
showering.
that's totally sexist. Man, some chicks, like to be like... I can't believe you did that. And then that's what they're saying. What they're really thinking is like, damn, all right. He's a badass. Okay. I see. I'm going to play it cool.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
But, like, I will say, though, like, she told him, like, I think you've done enough damage, leave. And then,
well,
like,
you gotta act like
2 scenes,
you don't like it.
She did save him from being trapped in the graveyard.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, like, they were, like, smooching up, and I was like, there was really no shift there. I mean, I knew they were going to be into each other.
The movie's
but there was
only
really
not
no
like
shift.
an hour and
Yeah, it is only an
it's
hour.
like, all right, we gotta move this along.
They probably cut that part out. But all of a sudden, it was like, hey, we got love here. We got love. I don't know where that came from.
Little fun fact: Dr. Bradley in there was also in the Hammer film Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell.
Wow!
Whoa, okay there, Muppet. You gotta go.
He was the
Kermit freak
coach
out.
driver. I was
No
like,
kidding.
I remember. I was like, fuck. I know
You
that
remembered
dude.
him.
Well, I was like, he's fucking. I know.
That's funny.
He's super familiar. What's he in? So I was like, checked out. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at that turn. I also will say, like, I can't comment on what the workings of Barbara Gazelle's character's mind, why she suddenly decided after saving Major Cummings from the cemetery, she suddenly loved him. But I will say that you cannot blow up an atomic factory at the end and not expect everyone not to die within a 100-mile radius of blowing up that factory.
Yeah,
they have an
right?
atomic factory that's supposed to be powering this new radar array, and then they can't stop it because the cooling... They literally say the cooling tubes, which you're required to use to shut down a nuclear factory, a nuclear reactor, they are broken, and they can't do anything about it. They can't stop. They can't cool down the reactor and stop it.
Just blow it up, man.
So his solution is he
blow it
blows
up.
it up. And I was like watching this unfold on the screen, and I'm like, this is a terrible idea. I don't know what they expect. I would have actually loved this movie if he'd have blown it up and it just nuked them all.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been like, this movie's perfect. I think all that. But, so you gotta kind of,
But then
everyone...
you wouldn't see the brains melting, which is the best part.
It is an amazing effect.
So we're spoiler alert, these fucking creatures are fucking cool little brains with fucking
Yeah, I mean...
spinal cords and shit. They're really fucking cool.
It's been out since 1958, guys. I mean, I don't know.
It is on the front cover.
Yeah.
Of the movie.
It's on the front cover. I like how you looked and go, it is on the front cover of the movie.
So
Can you make a shirt of Fiend without a face?
I totally could.
Dom, do that.
I could
That
do
was
that.
actually
Do that shit.
I could
that
do
was.
I could. I'm sorry. I'm watching
Do that
Satsy's
shit.
dance. And she's really.
I'm sorry.
That-
Okay, go.
No, I was gonna say that was
forgot how to draw.
probably
after
the
watching.
first working logo for the Brain Invaders. It's Fiend without a face, yeah. It was that. It was even on one of the flyers. It was that.
Is the brain guy?
Well, it was the world, and then the brain on top with the fucking spinal cord wrapped
Oh,
around
really?
it. Yeah. It's on one of the flyers.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean
That's
it's a fun guys. It's a fun movie. I mean you gotta accept that when you're watching these black and white movies that you're sometimes getting the 50s and 40s effect as a classic feel to it. And you either like it or you don't. But I honestly think that for horror fans, you should be dipping into the black and white movies. We've talked about that before.
Yes.
That's why we cover them. That's why we talk about them, and we're gonna keep talking about different ones.
I was
Watch
looking
this.
on IMDb, and I guess that it got an X rating. Did you see that?
Oh,
I saw
yeah,
that.
I didn't know
that's
that. I was
right.
looking. I was like, what?
In Britain.
Yeah, in the UK.
Yeah.
Which, for being filmed in the UK, there was a lot of. I mean, maybe they were faking American accents, but it seemed to have a pretty balanced cast of American actors and British actors,
Mm-hmm.
which I would just think would be the opposite. Yeah,
I think it was a British movie.
Yeah,
But it was released in America.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I like, didn't you say earlier, like, I wonder it came out around the same time as The Blob, and you're like, I wonder which one did better, and you're like, oh, The Blob did way
Yeah,
better.
the Blob did like 4 million, and this one did like 160,000.
Explains why, that does explain, like, one is a household name, and the other one is more of a cult favorite, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, I gotta recommend this movie. This movie's a fun movie. It's fun. I think you're right. It kind of has a feel of Godzilla. It kind of reminds me of some of the other like, really fun,
Yeah, all
quirky...
set up in a lab, them trying to figure out what's going on, and then you get to the juice.
I like how when all this shit starts going down and stuff, they're breaking in. Like, do you have anything to board up these windows? Oh yeah, I totally have some wood in the basement in the lab, because in all these old movies, you always have spare wood laying around
Yep.
to board up windows.
If I ever own a house, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put a bunch of spare.
That's,
like,
that's why.
Smart.
Yeah,
That's smart.
if we learned
Zombie apocalypse.
anything from watching horror movies, it's always have spare wood. You know, spare wood.
Spare wood's gonna really save
Major
it.
Cummings had spare wood, so
God,
we
man.
should too.
You guys are so immature.
It's true. So, all right. Well, I mean, what else is there to say? It's like,
do they fly? Are they flying or are they jumping?
They have jumps. They have good big jumps.
They have good hops.
They really good hops.
All
They
right.
go for it. I think
I say they glide.
They kind of do glide.
they're really a
they're
cool
like
design.
flying squirrels.
I kind of want to draw them because
You
they have such a
should.
cool design to them. They're so
Because
weird
I don't
looking.
really like the designs that
No.
are like on the DVDs and posters and
No,
shit.
well, they leave
I
off a lot of the legs. I don't see
Yeah,
any of their legs,
No.
which they
I
have.
think you could do a way better job
The
at
nerves.
a Fiend without a
There's-
face design.
There's some that are cool that I've seen over the years.
But you know what I really want?
I like that this woman cannot get away from being in that towel. You look her up on IMDb, she's in the towel.
Do you think
scene
she was
covered by-
embarrassed by that? Do
I
you think
don't
this ruined her from?
She was only in B movies. We looked her up because we were like fascinated to see what else.
Because she looks like Mira
she was
Sorvino.
in. Yeah, she really does look like Mira Sorvino. That was a good
Or like
call.
it could be like her fucking grandmother or something like that.
Yeah, and we were looking up like, I wonder what else happened to this woman, and we look up and she only acted for like was it like 6 years or something, and it's all B movie and sci-fi movies and stuff, and it's like she was probably completely crushed and disappointed by her career, and I looked at that and went, how cool. You like did all these cool like crazy B movies, but she was probably super bummed because she wanted to be like a huge star, but it was,
Do you
it's...
think people like slut shamed her because of this towel?
No.
I don't know. I mean, when I look at
it's everywhere.
It is literally
and
everywhere.
back then,
She
a
walked
lady
up-
was not supposed to be seen that way.
Well, it is a pretty, like, racy scene for 1958.
Yes, it is.
You know, it was like, but I mean, you didn't show
A
anything.
man sees her who is not like, she's not dating him or anything.
I mean, she got a little horrified, came out in a full on house coat, right? That's what you
Yeah.
told me.
I want one of those.
You want a house coat?
I
Yes.
have one at the shop.
You want to like put on a house coat. You want to take a shower, get out, put on a house coat,
Yes.
to then get out of the house coat and put on clothes.
Yes.
Well, I don't. Why would you?
Oh,
Why do you
no.
need that step in the middle? Like
I feel
like
fancy.
So you can be more elegant
Yes, elegant.
when you're
Yeah.
in not in clothes.
I feel fancy.
It's way more fancy. It's fancier than a robe.
Okay.
It is a lot fancy.
But yeah, man, like all the photos of her is literally her in this towel. So I don't know. Maybe that typecasted her for a while.
You're like,
What's her name again?
we're not hiring that whore from Fiend Without a Face.
Kim Parker.
Look at that whore.
She's right. She died in 2010 in Las Vegas. She was known for Fiend Without a Face, The Good Companions, Fire Maidens of Outer Space. Wow.
Las Vegas, huh?
Yeah, she's made a
Or as I like to call it, lost wages.
Shit.
That's a Frisky Dingo reference to anyone who got it.
She was 78 years old. She was Austrian. Look at that. Anyway, I don't know. She acted from like basically 54 to 59. So, yeah. Anyway, super cool. I don't know. It's super fun. What would be the rating? What are you guys gonna give it?
I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
So
it's
like
one of your
naturally to
favorites.
be like a 5, but
That's fine.
if you know, it is a little slow moving for at least half of the movie. So
if the 15 minutes were longer, then I'd probably give it a 5 too. But
I mean I really like the last 15 to 20 minutes.
it's so good.
Like it's so good. So
It's
I'm
so
like,
good. It's almost
to
way
me it
worth
makes up
it.
for it. So I'm
Yes,
like,
yeah.
dude, totally 5.
I'm giving it a lot lower, but it's fondly. I'm giving it a 3.5, but not out of hate. It's just, I think it's slow moving. There are classic black and white movies I love more than this, but I want everybody to see it. So like 3.5. Watch it. It's fun. It's fun. That's why we like horror. It's just quirky, crazy, great monster. Super extra points for that. But like there's some weird edits and some weird acting moments, but I like it. I don't want to make it sound like I hate it. I think you all should watch it.
Yes, I definitely.
Yeah, I think you should listen to E and watch the movie.
I would also give it like a 3. Yeah.
Yeah, but not out of hate.
No,
Out
not out of
affection,
hate.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the last 15 minutes, super fucking awesome. Really, you could go into the movie at the last 30 minutes and pretty much understand everything.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of build up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of imagination to
Yes,
this movie, though.
yes.
I really applaud the people who thought this up. It's fun.
Definitely, I think if you're going to watch an older 50s sci-fi movie, this is definitely one you should see. I mean, there's a lot of ones that are kind of crappy or like whatever,
Yeah,
but this is one where it's like, might be a little slow moving, but the payoff in the end is like, oh, fuck yeah. This, you know, because there's gore too, which for 1958,
Yeah,
there's a
no,
lot
the
of blood in
effects,
the end.
the stop motion effects are Ray Harryhausen level quality. It's
Yeah.
like they're pretty cool.
It's
like
really good.
the all of it. There's all of it. It's really cool. I got a kick out of it.
So
All right.
we're all in agreement. You should fucking see it.
You
Yeah.
should see it.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Monster Candy Podcast, and we hope you enjoy Fiend Without a Face. You should let us know what you think of it. Let us know what you think of what we said. If you agree, you disagree, whatever, we would like to hear from you. Meanwhile, we're going to go head out, and thanks for listening.
Suck my medulla oblongata!
I was waiting the entire episode to hear what you said. Good night, you guys. You've been listening to Monster Candy Podcast. Want to find out more about the show? Find us on the web at monstercandypodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching Monster Candy Podcast. And you can find our Twitter at MonsterCNDYPC. Hey, we couldn't fit the whole name. What do you want from us? Let us know what you think of the show and if we're right or if we're wrong or what you want us to tackle next. We want to hear from you. Well,
Shotzi and I do, but I can promise that E doesn't really care. To find out more about Shotzi Blackheart and her professional wrestling, follow her Twitter at Shotzi Black or her Instagram at Shotzi Blackheart. You can follow Screamin' E's band, the Memphis Murder Men, on Facebook at TMMM official page or his Instagram at Screamin' E. That's screaming with no G, add the E. For me, Dominic Davy, you can find my artwork at dominicdavy.com, my band Tsunami Bomb at tsunamibomb.net, and you can hear my other podcast, 3 Gigs, at 3gigspodcast.com, or on the same platform you're hearing this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Monster Candy Podcast.
You've got to stop them. There's only one way: shut down your atomic plant.
If I can get through, I can blow up the control room.